Bit softer? I won't go that side. Okay. I can go this side. Okay. I'm passionate about transformation. And my husband always said that, that this is our last effort in ministry. And I just knew that if we are dreaming about transformation in the family, that we're going to have to do it from all sides. So I believe that when the wives are involved, I believe that the thrust is just stronger. So that is why I'm so passionate about this training and the training for women. I never thought I'd be in women ministry. That wasn't always my passion. But my passion is transformation and the changing of families, communities, and nations. The Mother Design, as you know, it was started in 2015 from Jaffna, and from there it evolved. And this training was always only in support of the World Needs a Father training. So it was never made to be on its own as a woman's ministry, but of course it can be used as such. So there are many uses for this training, but it was only basically formulated as a support of the World Needs a Father training. And it was basically to bring couples onto the same page. So explaining to the wives the roles of the father, the roles that you perhaps have been doing, and why he must do it. Okay. And empowering mothers in a fatherless generation. And that is also for a special message to the single mothers. Because the single mothers' families are now, I think there are more of them than the dual families. So for the single mothers, we have a special place and a special training for them as well. Now, if you look at this training, you will see over here that a lot of it is personal development and discipleship. And this is mostly done on day one. Okay, so this training is also a 3-day training. So it's also 24 hours. So the first day is dedicated to personal development and discipleship. And then the second day is about the father roles. And then, of course, we also do the child development and teen needs on all 3 days. But here, we do the motherhood training on the 3rd day. And then, of course, I'll also throw in a bit of marriage enrichment. Now, I want to ask you to discuss in groups, why do you think it is important that husband and wife are on the same page concerning the father roles? Why do you think that husband and wife, that they must, specifically the wives, why must they be conscious of the father roles? Why must they have a knowledge of the father roles? You want to give a few answers of that? Yeah. What father role is that? Moral.
You've got to repeat the question if they don't have. No, Jenny. You've got to repeat their answer, Their answer, yeah, if they don't have a mic.
Okay. Sorry, I can't see very well with these lights in my eyes. Yes.
Just a second. Stand up, please. Yeah.
Yes, that is also important. Does anybody else want to add anything to that? Why must husband and wife be on the same page? Why must the wives know about the father roles? Can we have it? Can we have some more answers? Yes. They are a team. They are one. That is true.
If you're not careful and you teach the father roles to the father, and the mother doesn't get it, it is possible that the mother, the wife, gets sort of put under, even though we teach servant leadership. So it's really important that the husband and wife are in agreement as one, as Greg just said.
Yes.
So that there isn't a sort of the abuse of power. I'm the head of the house, and therefore this is what we will do. Because it's not that. It's really this understanding and working together. I think that's why that's important.
Yes. Can I have somebody else? Oh, okay, sorry, the mic is... do you want to say
Just
something and then pass it on?
I think it'll, I believe if the mother and the father are not on the same page, it'll confuse the children.
Oh, yes, definitely.
If the mother does not know the father's role, she will try to fulfill the father's role, and it'll be a big mess.
Yes. Very good answer.
The mother has only a supporting role.
That is
The-
true. Are you finished?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. I think we have got some good answers here. Has anybody got a different answer? Or Roy? Okay, one last one from Roy, and then we're going to be going on. Oh, Roy's at the back.
Yeah, I think it's important. Okay, yeah. It's me now. I think it's important because first of all, she's supposed to be the validator. So when she knows what's the real role of the father and what is his duties, it's going to be easier for her to validate, and then the whole family is going to be, following the father and mother. And the other point is, if she does not know, I think the house is not going to be in balance. Something is not going to be right in the kids' psychology.
Yes. Excellent answer. Okay.
I said it first.
Oh, you said it first. Okay, good. So we've just heard how important it is that husband and wife are on the same page, that they understand the specific roles, because mothers have been mothering and fathering their children. So they must know why. They must step down from these father roles and encourage the father to do the father roles. And a friend of mine, her husband had been trained, and she, about a year or 2 years afterwards, she came for training. And she said, oh my word, now I understand. Now I understand what my part is in this. And it was very significant for me that it was such a revelation to her and to many others. Because it's important that husband and wife must be a team. We must be a team, because we heard, otherwise it confuses the children. Now, just a bit about, I'm going to go through the training structure and how I present the course. I'm going to go through it very quickly. Okay, but I'm going to show you slides on the board, so it's going to be quite quick, and just explaining, why things are put together in a specific order. Okay, so there's method in my madness sometimes. Okay, so first of all, the general drenching and support through strategic prayer. The Lord made it very clear to me that this course for women must be drenched in prayer. We're praying and we're supporting for our husbands. And that we are not to complain and to criticize, but we are to pray. So you'll be glad to hear that. And also explaining the father roles from the viewpoint of the mother or the wife. And I've given a very brief summary of certain things, and then I've concentrated on things that are very important that the wife must know of the father roles and the father content. And then, of course, the mother roles on the third day, teaching what she needs to know to support her husband and to teach her children. Okay. Now, the course content very quickly, the one that you all know. So I'll go through very quickly the cry of the children, and then, of course, every season counts in great detail, the father and mother wound, and then at the end of day one, I do the DVD, the war room. I'll explain later. And then the next day, I do all the other father roles. And then on the day 3, the single mother. This is something new, well, not new, but it's something that we've built out and that we've given more content to, which we also want to teach on. And specifically, if we get 8 hours on the last day. If we don't get 8 hours on the last day, we can't do the single mother training. And then, of course, all the mother roles, making him shine, which is about validating your husband, honoring and respect. The second role is enhancing closeness, which is about intimacy. The third one is fulfilling the female design, nurture and care, the needs of our husbands and our children. And then developing connection and compassion. And then the last one is creating a space of worship to be the homemaker, a space for everybody. Okay, so, yes. It's very important that we show our great passion for change and wanting change and being serious about changing the culture of the family. Because if you're not passionate about something, it's not going to happen. So all the women and the men that are doing this course must have a passion for change. You must be sick and tired of the way things are, that I desperately want change, and be hungry for that. And then also explain in the first 2 chapters, of course, God's plan for the family, to bring a heaven into the home through a Christ-centered parent team, growing children who love Christ. And that is so important. And then restore his intended purpose for fathers and mothers. The father is to be honored, as Greg said, as the head of the home. The husband honors his wife as the weaker sex, and they are partners in receiving God's blessing. They are partners in receiving God's blessing. So when they are partners, when they are team, God blesses. Okay. Then, of course, I'm going to go through this very quickly. Every season counts. You all know this. We do this in great detail. And here and there, we add extra stuff for the mothers. Okay? Then we also do insecurities and healing in detail. So we go through the healing process. We leave time for prayer, intercessory prayer. And this is where we also must have intercessors who can serve people who need healing and who need extra care. Okay. Then we do the 4, this is all that is done on the first day. And then we do half of the DVD, the War Room, and I will speak more about that later on. Then of day 2, we start with moral authority, which is also just a summary. So we do a summary of these 4 components. But what we do in great detail is mission and purpose. Because the wife must know what her mission and purpose is. It's not just to serve her children and her husband. She has her own specific mission and purpose, and she must also, with the husband, find out what is each child's mission and purpose. Okay? So that is why that's done there in great detail. So in the workbook, which each woman gets, she can go through this in great detail, and she can help her children with that, with the help of her husband, of course. And then, of course, we do discipline as well. We've added a few extra stuff about discipline, but we do also the same part as what the men do. And then, of course, identity. And, of course, as mothers, we must know what our own identity is and what identity is, so that we assist the husband in choosing values for the family, which is very, very important. Because values is one of the things that determines our choices and our decisions and the people that we meet and people that we are friends with. Okay, so we also, with the help of the father, the family will have their own crest, or you will help the kids, and mom and dad will actually do their own crest with their chosen values, 4 or 6 or whatever. And then, of course, we do the table of support. We do that in great detail, and through the whole training, the women are encouraged to find their mentors and also to fill their table of support and also that of their children. So each child above the age of 11 has their own table of support, and the wife must have her own table of support. And yeah. Then we do security as well, and in great detail, expectational love and the fear cycle God's love in great detail, because we must all know how to love and understand this very special concept of God's love. We also do communication, the levels of communication in great detail, and also because you must speak to your husband on the feelings level. You must stay in the room of the feeling. You all remember that. And you must also do this with your children, teaching them how to express their feelings and how to communicate on a feelings level. Then, of course, we also do affirming potential, and we do in quite detail all the elements for boys and girls for the rite of passage, and also how to affirm your child and the importance of affirmation, and also the importance of also reminding your husband of certain things about the children that you know, that you feel he also needs to help to affirm them with, because sometimes we know more of that detail with school and all that type of thing. So we must give this information through to your husband that he can affirm the child on these things as well. So you work together as a team. After this is the ending of the second day, and this is the DVD, The War Room, and it is available in most countries. With subscripts in most languages. And the reason why I use this is that the Lord came to me in a very special way and brought this couple to me, made me sit down, me and Cassie, and showed us this DVD and said, Jenny, this must be in the training. And I knew this was God speaking, and wow, this War Room is a very, very special DVD because it practically demonstrates the training content. It shows visually how the wife prays and supports her husband and how transformation happens in the home. It also shows about submission. It's about very strongly mentoring and discipleship, and also having a mentor and also mentoring other people. That comes out so clearly. And all the four roles of the father come out very clearly in this DVD. And of course, the mother roles are there as well. And it also it demonstrates basic spiritual growth. So it fills in all the bits, all the spiritual growth. You see it in this whole DVD. And then, of course, I've compiled questions and activities that go with the DVD. So I show a bit, and then I stop and I ask a question. Did you see this? Or what was this? Or what do you think? What father role was this? So we go over the content while watching the DVD. And us women, we all cry and we enjoy the DVD. And Cassie, you should let them watch the DVD as well. Okay. Now, the single mother. You've all done training in The World Needs a Father. And now when it comes to the single mother, how do you think we can expose the children of the single mother to the roles of a father, specifically in the very needy father impact years between the ages of 6 and 11? Or how can we just expose these children of the single mother? So I want you to form groups and to come up with an idea, okay? So I want you to think of an idea. Okay? Can we do that? Can you make groups of
Three or four? Groups of 3 or 4?
Three
quickly?
or four? Just quickly. Just
a
want
few
you to,
ideas.
to
Few
think.
ideas. Share a few ideas.
How do we expose the children of the single mother to father roles? Is it possible? Huh? Is it okay? so funny that the cameras are getting smaller and smaller, and the tripods are getting bigger and bigger. Do you think I can ask this? Stop. Tell me when. Tell me when. Okay. Okay, if we could just finish off. Ja. Ek kan nie lekker sien nie. Die goed in my oë.
Okay, let's get the answers. Maybe you have one or two, but the other groups may have others. So put up your hand and we will start. Let's listen here, and please stand up when you speak.
Okay, I think there are three main points that she needs to tackle. The first one is to be healed and to forgive whatever happened. If she needs to forgive God, if it was like a tragedy, to forgive her husband, whatever she needs. But I mean, she needs to have like peace from within. And then I think her table of support needs to be all filled with
Yes.
all the mentors and trainers that you would need, and maybe find a male figure in the family who took the training of the all needs a father. I mean, it can be one of the, maybe her father or the father-in-law, whoever is can play this role as the male figure that would provide the male affirmation and all the father role in her kids' situation, or maybe another family that would, a husband and wife that would mentor her, and the husband would play the role of her kids, the father for her kids.
Wonderful. Excellent. Any different ideas?
Yes, we already done this in our church. We do two things. The first one is we put this family, the single parents family, into the cell group, and then the cell group must be take care of this family. Maybe take them for dinner, and then we take them to play. Not every week, but maybe we can have a schedule for the other family to take care of this family, so we can expose the father role.
Yes.
Okay. And then the second one, we urge families in the church to have a schedule in the Sunday school. So we are not just putting woman or young woman into a Sunday school teacher, but also father, man, to teach in the Sunday school.
Excellent.
And then we have a schedule for maybe one family every 4 months to just attend into the Sunday school. They may not teach in the Sunday school, but they be there
Wow.
as a figure.
Fantastic.
That's it. Thank you.
What church is this?
Pardon?
What church is this?
Church? Church, Abalov Church.
Okay, super.
Okay.
I would like to have a report from you about what's happening there,
Thank you.
that we can have different role models. Super. Anybody else wants to add something? Yes?
Yeah. Sorry. I'll do it by story because I ended up as the oldest youth leader in a church in Brisbane. And we had a group of about 20, 25 boys who used to come to our house. And they weren't necessarily from single families, though some were. And because I was an older man, and most youth leaders were like 25, 30, and I was, mid-40s at that point, I was able to father that group. Now, I wouldn't have called it all these words that we teach, but I think if men, older men, with families ran, so it's different to the Sunday school, it's more in the youth ministry, that we become support to the youth leaders and actually run groups ourselves. I can tell you that 20 years on, those boys who are now men with children come and talk to us and we have relationship with them. So it's about the men like you rising up and saying, right, I will run a group of young men and I will teach them the things they need to know.
This is absolutely super. All the answers that I've heard here are absolutely super. And I just want to, all the answers that you've heard, please take them back with you and see how you can apply them, because they are all excellent ideas of how we can help the single mother families, single parenting families, because we have to help them. Because we have to expose them to what a father is, what husband and wife is. They know mother, or they perhaps might know father if there is no mother. But they need to see husband and wife. It's not good enough just seeing it on the movies. They must see it modeled with good Christian values. So that is excellent, guys. Wow. Very, very good. You must propagate this. Good. I'm just going to say something very sort of just a summary of what our training is for single mothers, because it is something that we have expanded on, and it is something that is newish, okay? So in the new Mother's Workbook, you will see that there are prayers added, discussions added, and there's more description added, and we put it in the middle of the book at chapter 10 and not at the end of the book, okay? Good. So just very quickly, what you have all described here is basically what we call a father figure, or if it's a family, we give it the name mentor family. And there are many possibilities. As you just heard over here, there are many possibilities of a father figure. And sometimes there's more than one that plays into the life of a child. And I will just show you the examples later. Now, what does a father figure look like? Of course, one of the father figures must be a devoted child of God, must be a Christian, okay? And also adhere to biblical values, have a good relationship with his wife and own children, have a good connection with your child. And that is very important. We've heard today about how important connection is, that you hear the child, that you feel the child. So that's very important, that this person will have a very good connection with the child. And then, of course, be able to listen to your child, and then also trained by the father. The world needs a father in fatherhood if possible. We know that not all these things are possible depending on your location where you are. We've heard about cell groups, which is super. We've heard about youth pastors. We've heard about over here, other possibilities over here. And of course, there are many. I just want to talk about a few different options. Of course, the Christian father figure is the best option. It could be a combination of male adults in his or her life. For example, it could be an unmarried coach with good biblical values. It could even be a family member that is perhaps not a Christian, but in a way plays the father figure role, okay? and could be unmarried youth leader with a good ear and connection with your child, a married pastor or family friend member with a good connection with his own children, with his wife, and with your child. Okay, so they see good mother-father interaction. And or other good married couples in the life of your child. So these are all the different options. And don't forget that for every good strategic adult in the life of all of our children, it is good for our children. So not we feel I'm a good father, I don't need any other people. We all need strategic good adults in the life of our children. Carstens and I, we always introduced our children to good adults. The Christian coach, organizing a good Sunday school teacher, going on a tour with a group of wonderful Christian adults that our children can be mentored by them. Every input is a wonderful building block in the life of your child, and specifically the single mother needs this desperately. And we talked of her table of support. She must have a table of support, and her children must have one as well. The mentor family, so we describe what the mentor family is, what they do in quite detail. We try to think of all the things and that. So there is much more on this. This is just one slide. And then we also say, what does the mentor family look like and how will it work? So we tell them what the family looks like, how it works, practical ideas. We try to structure things in a way that, try to avoid jealousy and trouble and all that type of thing. So we say, don't forget, you work through the wife, the single mother, and the wife of the father figure. They work closely together. You don't want to pair up a single mother with the father, because the devil is alive and well, as we know. And then, we've heard of some possibilities of a cell group, a family ministry at the church, or the world is a father and the mother design training. Last weekend, was it last weekend, Janine? 2 weeks ago, okay, 2 weeks ago, we did a training in Paarl, just the other village, other town, and we asked a woman to stand up if they would be prepared to act as a mentor family. And I think there were how many? 12 or 13 of them? 11. That signed up that they would be willing to act, that their family, they will of course discuss it with their husband, that they will volunteer to be a mentor family for a single mother. So this is the first time that we've done it, and I was wonderfully surprised that the woman understood the need of this exposure in the lives of the single mother. So that's just an idea. And then, we also ask them how to find them, what to do, and what the training, and we say give them all this curriculum that we have, show them what needs to be done so everybody knows exactly where they are. We even do a little bit on the divorced mother with custody, and I was so glad that it mentioned here that she must get healing. We find, especially with the divorced mother, needs a lot of healing for her and the children, because they go through a lot of emotional baggage, rejection and all that, and self-image problems. So we've seen that there are less problems in the single mother who has never been married and or was widowed a long time ago. So, but especially when it comes to a divorce, there is much more emotional stuff that we have to work through. So we give a few guidelines on that. And then also we tell them the role of the single mother in the mentor family partnership, what her role is, a whole list of stuff. And then we also say the roles of the mentor family, so they know exactly what to do and what not to do. And then, of course, we have a few ideas of supervision. Now, Janine, where are you? Why do you think, somebody can give her the mic, Janine, why do you think the mentor family or the father figure and the single mother family, would they need supervision?
Yes, very important. As you know, the single mother as well as the child is coming out of a broken relationship. So both need nurturing. So you need to create that safe environment for the mother as well as for the child. And very importantly is the transparency. With the training that we had 2 Saturdays ago, I was pleased that it was initiated by the mothers of the mentor family. So they agreed that they want to take on a single mother with a child, which is safe if it comes from a mother, because like Jenny said, the devil is alive and well. So any crack that is there, the devil will creep in. So yeah, and I've got an example of a lady that I'm journeying with, that single mom, and just a simple example of transparency is she said that whenever she's on the phone with a mentor dad, the phone is on speakerphone. So the mom listened to the whole conversation and even gives her opinion when decisions have to be made.
So it's creating a safe space where we can sort out any problems, because we don't want any breakage of this precious relationship, because the single mother and the child have experienced too many losses. We don't want any more. So we do everything to make sure that this relationship is going to work. So it could be supervision. We give different ways of supervising. The cell group could be one of them. A family ministry could be one. We have a couple mentoring a group of single mothers and mentor family, husband and wife. Okay. So just giving them a space where they can be honest and share any problems. Especially, you know, when it comes to having the same values, the same faith, and all those type of things, it's important that you're on the same page there as well. So supervision is a safe place, and because the relationship is so precious. We talked about a mentee. I've talked about that. Okay. At the end of day 2, we, of course, have seen the War Room DVD, and we've seen everything practically, what a mother should do. And the first role of the mother is that of, we call it letting him shine. It was a lady in the Philippines who said yes, validation is like letting him shine. So that's why I kept this in memory of her, the words letting him shine. And it's about validating your husband. It's about the power of the first follower. You've probably all seen the crazy dancing guy. Cassie's shown it to you. So the power of the first follower, the power that the wife has in validating the husband. Because if she doesn't validate and honor the husband, you lose the children, because they don't know who to follow. Mommy, daddy, mommy, daddy. They're watching mommy's eyes. So it's very important that the mother portrays validation, the power of the first follower, that she follows in a wholehearted way, because the children are watching her. They're watching her body language. They're watching her attitude. So it is not weak submission. It's clever submission. Because we do what is good for the family, for the children, not what is comfortable for us as women. And submission is hard. Okay, men? If you had to choose, if you had to choose between love and respect, what would you choose? Yeah, ladies, we've heard it now. Ladies, what would we choose? Love. And because I explained to the ladies, because I had to learn it the hard way myself, that women, husband and wife, men and women, see love and respect in a completely different way. The husband feels, if you don't respect me, you don't love me. That's it. If you don't show respect to me, you don't love me. And for us women, it's difficult to understand that, because we see it quite differently, completely differently. So I try and we relay this over to the women that we teach, that there is a different brain, a female brain and a male brain. And you must understand how the male brain works and accept it, because God made him that way. And God made us that way. The Bible says, husbands, love your wives. I think it's not so easy. But I mean, and we got to respect the husbands, and it's not always easy. But this is what God asks us to do, because it's good for us. It's good for us. It's good for our character. Okay, I'm just going on a bit too long. Okay, the power of validation. And of course, this book, Love and Respect, I do, about the crazy cycle, the reward cycle, and it comes to loving with God's love. Doesn't matter what you get in return, you are called to love. Doesn't matter what you do. Okay. Okay, then just quickly over here is just about the united team, mother and father, because if they're not united, the children get messed up, and we've heard it here. The children get messed up if it is a divided team who are attacking each other. The children are completely confused because they don't know what their identity is, what's mommy, what's daddy, is mommy, daddy believing, what is the discipline rules, all these things. If they are different, the children are confused. So we've got to be on the same page and agree for the sake of the children. And then we do enhancing closeness is about intimacy. We all want intimacy. Intimacy is a special connection between two people where words are not always necessary and can be conveyed through body language, touch, voice tone, and eye contact. So we do how to get more intimacy with your husband and how to get more intimacy with your children. And how the wife is the one that transfers intimacy, the mother that transfers intimacy to the children in the very, very first years. Cuddling and touching and stroking, we've heard all about that today. So how to enhance closeness, the most important thing, praying together. Husband and wife must pray together. And the space of pain, modeling, transparency, all those things. I also do menopause. And actually, I should do a menopause here today. I know, the time I won't do it, but you must find out. You Google this, you must know what menopause is because it affects the emotion, it affects your sex life as well. Okay, so you must know what's going on with your wife. We talk about mother and child intimacy, teenage girl. We even do the teenage girl's cycle. You must know about your daughter, about her cycle, and also about PMS because the wife is irritable and emotional when she has PMS, which is heightened at the age of around 35 to 36. Also, we do about teenage boy, and then we come to fulfilling the female design, nurturing and caring. It's about seeing to the needs of the people around you. And we do the needs of married women. Take note, men, is affection, conversation, honesty and openness, financial support, family commitment, in no order. As long as those things are there, us women are happy. The men, and I teach the women this. These are the needs of married men, and it's in a specific order of priority. And I teach them that, and explain what each one is and how we must see to the needs of our husbands. Babies' needs, diet, nurturing our teenagers, and then developing connectedness and compassion. And I do also a lot of how to, this one you all know, about this, your social fit. I do, and also about some tips on how to help the child with socializing, your teenagers, how to get them, help them with that. So special needs there. And then I do also digital cocaine, which you will hear about. So I won't say one word about this book. You will hear a lot about it from Brad. The man is here, ladies. If our ladies don't know about it, who've seen this, he's at the back over there. So we will hear more about that. And then the last one is creating a space of worship. And this is not just a homemaker, it's creating a space for everyone, a space for your husband where he comes home to. He must want to come home to you. That atmosphere, that must be, he wants to come home and feel happy, he can relax. For the children, the small ones, the teenagers, everybody must feel, I can come home, I can be me. And this is the mother that must create this wonderful atmosphere. And then the faith of the mother, because the mother sets the standard. The sons and daughters are watching her for how to be a mother, and the son is watching her to perhaps choose a wife for him one day. So the teenagers won't admit it, but they are watching us. And you set the stage for that. And then, of course, bringing heaven into home, because I will only reveal myself to those who love me and obey me. The Father will love them too, and I will come to them and live with them. So if you want heaven in your home, you have to be obedient. You have to be obedient. Good. Cassie?
Okay.
I've done it as quick as I could.
That was great. Let's give her a hand. And